Hello everyone. Today we discuss about planning, designing and implementation of MIS. Many organizations have purchased computers for data processing and for meeting the statutory requirements of filing the returns and reports to the government. Computers are used mainly for computing and accounting the business transactions and have not been considered as a tool for information processing. The organizations have invested on computers and expanded its use by adding more or bigger computer to take care of the numerous transactions in the business. In this approach, the information processing function of the computers in the organizations never got its due regard as an important asset to the organization. In fact, this function is misinterpreted as data processing for expeditious generations of reports and returns, and not as information processing for management actions and decisions also. However, the sense has been changing since late 80s when the computers become more versatile in the functions of storage, communications, intelligence and language also. The computer technology is so advanced that the barriers of storage, distance, understanding of language and speed are broken. The computers have been user friendly. They can communicate to any distance and hear data, informations and physical resources of other computers. Computers can now be used as a tool for informations, processing and communications. It can be used for storing large database or knowledge. It can be used for knowing the current status of any aspects of the business due to its online real-time processing capability. With the advancement of computer technology, more popularly known as information technology, it is now possible to recognize information as a valuable resource like money, and capacity is necessary to link its acquisitions, storage, use and disposal as per the business needs for meeting the business objectives, such as broad based activity, can be executed only when it is conceived as a system. This system should deal with management informations and not with data processing alone. It should provide support for management planning, decisions making and actions. It should support the needs of the lower management as well as that of top management also. It should satisfy the needs of different people in the organizations at different levels having varying managerial capabilities. It should provide support to the changing needs of business management. In short, we need a management information system flexible enough to deal with the changing information needs of the organization. It should be it should be conceived as an open system continuously interacting with the business environment with a built-in mechanism to provide the desired information as per the new requirements of the management. The designing of such an open system is a complex task. It can be achieved only if the MIS is planned, keeping in view the plan of the business management of the organizations. The plan of MIA is consistent to the business plan of the organizations. The information needs for the implementations of the business plan should find place in the MIS. To ensure such an alignment possibility, it is necessary that the business plan, strategic or otherwise, states the information needs. The information needs are then traced to the source data and the systems in the organizations which generate such as data. The plan of development of the MIS is linked with the steps of the implementations in a business development plan. The system of information generation is so planned that strategic information is provided for the strategic planning. Control information is provided for a short term planning and executions. The details of information are provided to the operations management to assess the status of an activity and to find ways to make up if necessary. Once the management needs are uh, translated into information needs, it is left to the designer to evolve a plan of MIS development and implementations. Now, contents of MIS plan. A long range MIS plan provided directions for the development of the systems and provides a basic for achieving the specific targets or tasks against a time frame. The plan would have content which will be dealt by a designer under a support from the top management. MIS goals and objectives. It is necessary to develop the goals and objectives for the MIS which will support the business goals. The MIS goals and objectives will consider management philosophy, policy, constraint, business risk, and internal and external environment of the organizations and also business. The goals and the objectives of the MIS would be so stated that they can measure. The typical statements of the goals are it should provide online information on the stock market and the accounts balance. The query processing should not exceed more than 3 seconds. The focus of the system will be on the end user's computing and access facilities. Such statements of the goals and objectives enable the designer to set the directions and design implementation strategies for the MIS plan. Now, strategy for the plan achievement. The designer has to take a number of strategic decisions for the achievement of the MIS goals and objectives. Development strategy and online, a batch and real-time technology platform. System development strategy, any approach to the system development, operational versus functional, accounting versus analysis, database versus conventional approach, and distributed versus decentralized processing, one database versus multiple database, SSAD versus OOT, resources for system development, in-house versus external, customized development versus the use of packages, manpower, compositions, analytic, and programmer skills and know-how. The architecture of the MIS. The architecture of the MIS plan provides a system structures and their input, output, and linkage. It also provides a way to handle the system or subsystems by way of simplifications and coupling and decoupling of subsystem. It spells out in details the subsystems from the data entry to processing, analysis to modeling and storage to printing. The system development schedule. A schedule is made for the development of the system. While preparing the schedule, due considerations is given to the importance of the system in the overall information requirement. Due regards is also given to logical systems development. For example, it is necessary to develop the accounting system first and then the analysis further. Unless the systems are fully developed, their integrations is not possible. These development schedules is not be weighted against the time scale for achieving certain informations requirement linked to the business plan. If they are not fully met, it is necessary to revise the time, schedule, and also development schedule whenever necessary. Hardware and software plan, giving due regards to the technical and operational feasibility. The economics of investment is worked out. Then the plan of procurement is made after selecting the hardware and software. Once can take the phased approach of investment, starting from the lower configurations of hardware going over to higher as development takes place. The process is to match the technical decisions with the financial decisions. The system development schedule is linked with the information requirements, which in turn are linked with the goals and objectives of the business. The selections of the architecture, the approach to the information systems development, and the choice of hardware and software are the strategic decisions in the design and development of the MIS in the organizations. The organizations which do not care to take proper decisions in these areas suffer from overinvestment, underutilizations, and are not able to meet the critical information's requirement. It is important to note the following point that I described right now. The organization's strategic plan should be basic for the MIS strategic plan. The information system development schedule should match with the implementation schedule of the business plan. The choice of information technology is a strategic business decisions and not a financial decisions. Now, development of information system, development and implementations of the MIS. Once the plan of MIS is made, the development of the MIS calls for determining the strategy of development is discussed earlier. The plan consists of various systems and subsystems. The development strategy determines where to begin and in what sequence the development can take place with the sole objectives of assuring the information support. The choice of the systems or the subsystems depends on its positions in the total MIS plan. The size of the system, the users' understanding of the systems, and the complexity and its interface with other systems. So the designer first develops systems independently and starts integrating them with other systems, enlarging the system scope and meeting the varying information needs, determining the positions of the systems. In the MIS in easy, the real problem is the degree of the structure and formalizations in the system and procedures which determines the timing and durations of development of the system. Higher the degree of structure and formalizations, greater is the stabilizations of the rules and the procedures, decision making and the understanding of the overall business activity. So here it is observed that the users of the designer interactions is smooth and their needs are clearly understood and respected mutually. The development becomes a method of approach with certainly in input process and outputs. Now, prototype approach. When the system is complex, the development strategy is prototyping of the system, and prototyping is a process of progressively and ascertaining the information needs, development methodology, trying it out on a smaller scale with respect to the data and the complexity, ensuring that it satisfies the needs of users and assesses the problems of development and implementations also. This process therefore identifies the problems areas and inadequacies in the prototype visa is fulfillment of the information needs. So the designer then takes steps to remove the inadequate. This may call upon changing the prototype of the systems, questioning the information needs, streaming the operational system and procedures, and move user interactions. In the prototyping approach, the designer tasks become difficult And when there are multiple users of the same system and the inputs they use are used by some other users as well. For example, a lot of input data comes from the purchase department, which is used in accounts and inventory management also. The attitudes of various users and their role as the originators of the data need to the development with a high degree of positivism. It requires all personnel to approach or appropriate that the information is a corporate resources and all have to contribute as per the designated role by the designer to fulfill the corporate information needs. When it comes to informations, the functional, the departmental, the personal boundaries do not exist. These call upon each individual to comply with the design needs and provide without fail the necessary data inputs whenever required as per the specification discussed and finalized by the designer. So bring the multiple users on the same platform and changing their attitudes towards informations as a corporate resource is the managerial task of the system designer. The qualification, the experiences, knowledge of the state of art and understanding of the corporate business helps considerably in overcoming the problem of changing the attitudes of the multiple users and the originators of the data. Now, life cycle approach. There are many systems or subsystems in the MIS which have a life cycle, and that is they have birth and death. Their emergence may be sudden or may be a part of the business need, and they are very much structured and rule based. They have 100% clarity of inputs and their sources, a definite set of outputs in a terms of the contents and formats. These details more or less remain static from the day the system emerges and remains in that static mood or a long time. Minor modifications or changes do occur, but they are not significant in terms of handling either by the designer or the users of the system. Such systems therefore have a life and they can be developed in a systematic manner and can be reviewed after a year or two for significant notifications, if any. Examples of such systems are payroll, share accounting, basic financial accounting, finished goods and accounting and dispatching, order processing, and so on. These systems have a fairly long durations of survival and they contribute in a big way as sources of data to the corporate MIS. Therefore, their role is important and needs to be designed from the viewpoint as an interface to the corporate MIS. So that's the end of the video, my friends. If you like my blogs, please subscribe my channel. Thanks a lot for watching my videos. Have a good day.